Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. So, Ethereum also, see, that's why there's so many of these trades similar. We just reviewed the Bitcoin. We had a bunch of double bottoms, either sloppy or regular. This one also lower probability until the rotation zone gets out of the way. But once we do get a close above 10.10 and the rotation zone is out of the way, it becomes a much more reliable pattern. This one has a long pause in there. That's also a reason why it's a little less reliable, but Ethereum's showing some strength, so we're going to use these levels. First area is 1058, and really we have a cluster to 1062. Next major level is 1083, and then 1107, which also ties in right below another key gain level at 1111. So those are your upside targets. Should this come back down and form a triple bottom, then it's invalid. Also, if we drop first level supports coming in right now, right between these gain levels at the 200, right, we'll just call it 960. If we drop below that, we'd be looking at 916, then 867, 863 to next level, and the next very far down level should we plummet 841 where we have a cluster. Let's check in on the daily chart. So daily chart, you see we don't yet have the first cross, but we do have some resistance on the way to the first target. That's why it's also slightly lower probabilities. But all those targets are valid. We're getting some major buyers stepping in at this lower 900s. You can see these very long tails on there. Also, if we do break down, that 50-day exponential moving average is right above that 873 target. So that you'll really want to pay attention to. But those are your very key levels for Ethereum. Switching over to Ripple. Ripple did confirm its double bottom. And right now it looks like we're going to get the trigger on it unless we get another big selling pressure. That would take us with, this is just two target trades. The first target, 148.95. Next target, 155.07. You're going to want to pay a close attention to. I'd probably, if I was raising a stop though, raise it at this 146.25 level where we got the declining 50-period exponential moving average and the key gain level. Now, if this doesn't hold, comes back down, first level support's looking at 131.81, and then we'd be watching all the way down to about 117 to 115. If we did break to new lows, then we'd be watching at 104 to 106, and then possibly down to 95 to 97.30. And this is what we're looking for, some kind of key reversal pattern at a key gain cluster. So you see it came down, this gain cluster rallied back up, came down again, now triggering the double. So those are the kind of things we're waiting for. To be patient with these key entries on the cryptos. Let's take a look at the daily. So once this does trigger that first target area, we also have the declining 8, so pay really close attention to that 146 to 148 area. That's going to be some pretty significant resistance. And then that 155 area, see, takes us up to the top of this little clear path and prior major resistance inside the rotation zone on a daily basis. So you're going to want to pay very close attention to that. Let me put up a couple of these. Oh shoot. A couple of these other, I'm going to have to fix that later. Oh boy, no, I'll fix it now. Here we go. Wonderful. Sometimes this charting platform drives me crazy. Let's take a look at the next key gain levels. So you also see right above that 148 level, we have the 150 gain level. And at the top of the rotation zone, the 161 area, that's where the declining 21 is. So if you haven't taken stuff off and you're doing any buying in here, make sure you at least raise your stop, if not take some profits off at the 161 level for Ripple. Finally, over to Monero. Monero also holding at a key gain level, 286, retesting a couple times, coming up with this confirmed double bottom, but not yet triggered. It is against rotation zones, so it's slightly lower probability. It needs a close above 319.89 to trigger. Then 373.33, 346, and then the lowest probability target, because it's into the wicks and beyond this flat area, is coming in at 354.78. So that's what you'll be watching for. Should this not hold or trigger, the key support level then again is this 300. Then if that doesn't watch, we'd be watching for 286. And then if we don't hold there, 277 to 279, and then 273 to the downside. Let's check in on the daily chart for Monero. So Monero, you can see if it rallies up to the first target, that's going to be right where the declining 8 is. So there's significant resistance. So at least raise a stop up to there. And then the second target takes us clearly within the side of the rotation zone. The final target, which is another reason it's lower probability, takes us outside the rotation zone. So I'd be focusing on these first two targets for Monero. So what we have for you on Ethereum, Ripple, and Monero. We will talk to everyone soon. Bye for now.